Hello my friends and welcome back to another Broodwar ladder video. I've cobbled together for you guys a bunch of Bisu games today. We're going to be taking a look at what he's been up to recently on the ladder and some of the games he's been getting against some stronger Zerg players specifically. First Zerg on the list is Ivory. You guys may remember Ivory from ASL Season 16 when he shocked everybody by making it through the qualifiers and appearing on stage for the first time, kind of out of left field. Nobody knew about this guy. Nobody knew who he was. And wasn't really on anybody's radar, and then suddenly just appeared. He's hiding the drone here because there may be a probe coming in, but he is going to get that natural now. One thing that actually Shin told me about is that it's better to hide this overlord over your high ground and send it out in this direction so that the probe can't see your overlord, because if they see your overlord, then they know that you didn't go for a 9 pool and then they can block your hatchery. But if you hide your overlord and they come in through the natural, then they have no idea if you went 9 pool or not. They need to see if it's a 9 pool, so they'll go into your main and you get the hatchery for free. And so we're gonna see Ivory here today going up against Bisu, his gateway expansion starting out. And we'll see how Ivory has progressed. We'll see if he's made any strides and how he matches up against Bisu, because he hasn't made it back into the ASL since that debut run, that kind of out of left field surprise run in ASL Season 16. First Zealot is here at the third base already. Bisu putting on quite a bit of pressure. And he's got a second Zealot coming with the probe as well. Once the second Zealot arrives, things start to get hairy because he's going to start dealing more damage than the hatchery can heal. He needs about 8 lings to deal with this as well. You can't do this with 6. And then be forced back into this corner. He's just trying to buy some time as much as he can. Fight one of the Zealots. Takes away its shields at least. Getting on the corner of that. That's good. As long as he's not letting the second Zealot join the fight, then he might have a chance to win. He targets onto the probe but doesn't quite get it. This is some very good micro from Bisu. Ivory as well, holding his own, getting some good damage on these Zealots, but the next Zealot is going to arrive. The next Zealot has arrived and he's just going to put on more pressure. This hatchery going to spawn at next to no HP. One of the things that Protoss usually do to me is they don't send this third Zealot to the natural, to the third. They usually send it to the natural and try to run up into the main. Apologies guys, I had to sneeze there. It was coming out one way or another. It doesn't matter what I say about it. I'm gonna see how these probes fare, how this Zealots fare, excuse me, behind the minerals. They've got very little HP left and finally will end up going down. But this is a huge commitment to lings. You can see how many lings were having to be made, whereas this entire time Bisu has been building probes and building that lead. 25, but more lings are popping out. Oh my goodness. He's going to try and bust this front for sure. He's going to go after the cybernetic core and the gateway. And there's really nothing that Bisu can do about it right now, because if he comes out with these Zealots, he is going to die most likely. That is so many lings coming, guys. So many lings are coming across the map right now. He gets us around on one of these Zealots. He's going to open up this gateway here in a moment. Just as the cannon finishes, he opens up the gateway. Cannon is going to add a lot of DPS to this fight, killing off these lings in just 2 hits. But he's running forward here. He's trying to get on top of these probes. He's targeting down probes amazingly well, actually. He's getting a lot of probe kills here, and he's killing off all of these cannons, but he didn't build more lings behind this. He wasn't expecting it to go this well, it seems. Otherwise, he would have had so many more lings coming, but he actually made a round of drones there as he was killing off the gateway. Maybe he expected to only kill the gateway and then just kind of leave it at that, but if he had had another round of lings coming, he would have actually won this game. That's how close it was there. And the probes are going to be pulled now. He can't make zealots. There's no zealot production at all going on for Bisu. He comes into the front. He's going to get a couple more kills, perhaps. Oh, running behind the minerals. This is going to cause a problem for Bisu. He can hit a pylon or whatever, and there's no zealots going to be out for a while. He can run up and surround this cannon if Bisu's not careful. Oh, he's going to get in that wall. Going to target down a few probes here. Gets a few more probes. Yeah, 3 probes, maybe a 4th. I tell you what, he is very much evening out the early game losses, at least. Ivory killing off so many probes in this trade and forcing out 2 more cannons as well. This has gone very well for him. He won't get the pylon. Zealot's gonna deny that, but back at home, he's gone into some Hydras, and he's at least not going to lose any Overlords. This one over here, maybe. This one over here, definitely. But good chance that he will be able to just drone out of this, get some hatcheries online. I'm kind of surprised he might be moving out right now. I thought he was just going to drone, but he's building more Hydras. He wants to go pressure the wall, perhaps? That's a little bit surprising to me. I thought we would just see hatches and drones from here. But he's not done putting on that pressure. He wants Bisu to feel his presence, and so he's going across the map, at least with a few Hydras. Gonna try and bang on that wall. Groove Spines is underway, and it's gonna be done soon. Zealots want to come out, but this gateway is going to go down. Oh my goodness. He's going to lose this gateway again. And that's actually a pretty big pick. That's a great snipe to get rid of that gateway. It's going to lower the number of zealots that can be produced by a lot. Does sneak out that 1 zealot there right at the end. Going to try and hit one of these bases, perhaps, where there's only maybe 1 Hydra defending, like here at the natural. If he attacks here at the natural, he could maybe kill 2 Overlords. That's a bit of a mistake from Ivory not to have more Hydras at this base. Yeah, only 1 Hydra's not going to cut it, man. He actually sends the other Hydra over there towards the natural. He knows that Bisu's probably going to go for something like that. Here's the range finishing up in a moment. Zealot speed is going to be done, though. And so he could just come out and fight this. With the Zealot speed, could easily just go ahead and attack that. Oh. Getting a little bit in range. He's got to hold position again. And here comes the Zealots. So he will not get the Cybernetics core. He may end up losing some Hydras on the retreat. He's got to continuously micro those to try and not lose any of them. If they get stuck on a wall or something, you're going to be in trouble. Has to build more Hydras back at home. He starts a couple of Sunkens because he's a little bit worried about the combo attack of Corsairs and Zealots that that Protoss Bisu is so well known for. And so he's gonna fall back to his SimCity. Oh, getting in behind that wall is good. And it looks like Bisu will just be thrown back for now. Bisu, let's see where his +1 is at. He does have +1. He built that forge in the main, or rebuilt it in the main, I guess. And so his +1 is done. His +1 armor is on the way. +1 attack has only kind of just started for Ivory. So he's going to be behind in upgrades probably for the remainder of this game. And that's just kind of the way it goes when you put on this much pressure as Zerg. When you're trying to Hydra bust or do something like Ling into Hydra attack, it's just... you're not going to have those upgrades where you want them to be. Something has to be sacrificed when you're doing this much in the early game. So, kind of obvious that upgrades are going to go by the wayside. That's just the way she goes. So, Scourger now out. He didn't forego the Spire. He eventually added that on, which is great. A lot of players in a situation like this will only build Hydras and not give themselves that out, where you could switch into Mutas a little bit later on. Dark Archon is here for Bisu. He's ready for that possible transition. Scourge are going to try to connect on these Corsairs. Looks like he might lose 1. These Scourge can turn and try to chase and cut that off. And so we'll probably see at least one Corsair end up going down. I'd say Ivory playing an excellent game. There we go. He's really macroing like a madman. Getting his 4th base online. 42 drones. Needs a few overlords, so he's going to pop out 5 at the same time. And his lurker upgrade just finished, so it's an excellent time to start making a ton of lurkers. Usually when you make a bunch of lurkers, it's also an excellent opportunity to pump out a bunch of drones. So we're going to see, oh, actually more Hydras. I thought we would get just a massive wave of drones coming out to saturate the space, go up to about 55, and then get ready to fight for this 3rd that Bisu is going to have to come out and take soon. He needs to move quickly to take that base, and so, you know, getting into position with lurkers on this high ground and getting ready to contest that is probably going to be the play that Ivory goes for. Zealots are getting tracked down and kind of shut out of this map. So more Zealots heading out on the map, but now lurkers are here to block this, and yeah, Bisu will have to turn around as quickly as possible. Does not want any of that. And how is he for observers? Wow, observatory. I think that's observatory right there. He doesn't have it yet. And so Ivory will have a ton of time. Oh my god, goodness, he's blocking this out so well. He's only managed to let 3 Zealots slip by, so those 3 Zealots are going to cause a problem. Ivory is on the way, though, to deal with it. Maybe some of these drones will end up dying, but the hatchery should live. And that's what counts. That's the important thing. More drones are popping out, intermixed with the Hydras that are being produced as well. But Ivory doesn't realize that he could have gotten away with a lot more. He could have gotten away with making a huge amount. Oh my goodness, that was a miss. That was a whiff. Only 2 Hydras get hit by that Maelstrom. Kind of rough there. Gonna run forward, try to snipe down a few Templar. Can he get 2, 3 Templar? Well, he loses about 10 Hydras. That is not the greatest trading, but getting rid of a few Templar is sometimes worth it just to throw some Hydras away. Still, you need to have some amount of Hydras to help the lurkers to fight back, because if the Hydras are all gone, Dragoons can easily crush them. So hopefully he's going to have enough Hydras here to stop these Dragoons from moving forward. He will snipe that probe, and he gets the Archon as well. Still a little bit worried about engaging fully with the Hydras because of those storms, and he's going to have a storm on him here in a moment. There's the big Maelstrom that he was looking for, and he should be able to throw down that storm to finish it off. Great storms there. Really ripping this army apart. More lurkers, though, are being made behind this. And he's gone at least to 46 drones. This is a little light. It's a little light for 4 bases, but if he's planning to just defend and try to stop Bisu from taking his 3rd base, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay against a 2-base Protoss player to just continue to make, but I don't think he has the money to make off of 7 hatcheries. It's a little bit rough. Go ahead and spread out some more lurkers. More Hydras are coming up, but having a hard time defending this Bisu push out. Oh, running those Hydras back into range of that storm. He's got some more Hydras over here that he's kind of forgotten about, and those are kind of those mistakes are some of the mistakes that will really haunt you in a game like this, where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that Bisu broke out. Wait, I have 7 Hydras over here, or 6 Hydras over here that I didn't bring to the front. Imagine having those when the Dragoons were trying to push through the lurkers. There was only, in the end, about 6 Dragoons left over from that push, and he's finally going to bring those up. He's actually still not bringing them in from the side. And it's going to suddenly surprise with another 6 Hydras, but good dodge there. The Zealot number is too high, and there's not enough lurkers. Not enough lurkers to push this back. And so now Bisu will be unleashed on the map. I actually would have maybe preferred him to bring those Hydras in to start trying to snipe this Nexus, because that'll bring a lot of attention away, and maybe he can make another round of lurkers and get them onto this high ground once again. Counterattacking is going to be key. But we're going to go on Bisu gets that third base online. Getting the fourth base online is a little bit more tough. A bit of a difficult one here on Deja Vu. But he's got the standing army. He has the upgrades. He's 2 armor, 1 attack. We've only got 2 attack for Ivory. Another great Maelstrom. Pushing this back. Ivory gonna lose all of these Hydras, and he's coming in from a flank. Can he actually get some Templar snipes? 1 Templar, 2 Templar end up going down, and the other has no energy whatsoever. This base is gonna be under threat here soon. 1 Zealot heading that direction. Not gonna be enough to deal with that base, but at least it's going to cause some problem. Okay, he does force some Hydras up there, but Ivory is holding strong. Again, just the drone count is just not quite there, guys. He missed the opportunity to drone hard, and now he really can't do it. He has to keep building lurkers and Hydras, or Bisu will bowl him over. He has to get these defenses up as soon as possible and have an overwhelming force. If Bisu overcommits, he has to surround and kill this army, and then he may have another opportunity. He might have a secondary opportunity to fight. And, oh yeah, if he kills this whole army by surrounding with lurkers, then he might have that opportunity to re-drone. While Bisu is kind of sitting back and remaking this army. He's running forward here. He's trying to get as many kills as possible. Kill all the Dragoons, all the Templar, and then maybe we're talking. Maybe we have something going for us as the Zerg. I'm trying not to say us as much, because some people have been talking about it in the comments. But I will say Ivory and the names of the players a little bit more often if I remember. The Storm right in the middle of that. I do not like this. I do not like this one bit. Pushing into this tight choke. This is how you kind of throw the game back into Bisu's favor. You had some momentum going here, Ivory. Is this push really going to end up working for him? There's no more Templar, okay? He's pushing in. Another lurker comes forward. That DT is going to be denied, I think. Great Maelstrom. Man, this Dark Archon has played such a significant role this game. You know, some more probes are going to go down. Some Dragoons can be targeted, but in the end, this base will not be broken, at least not yet. Drone being sent over here to the top. You can see that he was droning a little bit, but not much, man. He really hasn't been making many drones at all. Dragoons here, just straight up fighting against Hydras. Not the greatest trade for the Dragoons, especially if you target with the Hydras. The Hydras are targeting 1 Dragoon down at a time. You're going to take a great trade, losing a lot of probes. Wow, dropping down to just 40 probes to the 47 workers of Ivory. Ivory getting pushed back, but you know what? Because he's had such a low drone count, spread between 4 bases, 47 on 4 bases, he is going to be able to mine for a long time. Still mining off of 4 bases. These bases are going to start to run out though soon. You can see the mineral patches are getting low, and his income will start to drop precipitously. Same thing's going to happen with Bisu, of course. Oh no, the Hydras. Oh god, that was so much damage. Ooh, Bisu targeting the Hydras in the back, knowing that those weren't the ones that Ivory was ready to dodge with. Sometimes you can see which Hydras that the Zerg player is using to bait, and they're ready to actually pull those ones back immediately when the storm comes out. But Bisu picked out the ones that were kind of sitting in the background, not being controlled, and cast a storm on those. Did a lot of damage there, but he loses 2 Templar. He's being forced back once again. He is on 3 base, or he's on this 3rd base, but his natural and main are gone. That is it. Just died right now. And so he is basically 1 base mining. This is going to become a 1 or 2 base Zerg here in a moment though. So there's just a tiny bit of power left in the reserves for, wow, that storm and that Maelstrom again. This Dark Archon has to be, gotta kill that thing, man. That thing has been doing so much work. Coming forward, gonna kill a few more Dragoons, forcing him back. Bisu in trouble now. He's going to lose a few more Templar right at the front. Oh my gosh, if he loses that Templar too, how is he going to be able to hold on? Doesn't have any storms and only 2 cannons over at this base. If he gets a few more lurkers over here in the front, get some Hydras there, he can go over and kill that third. And he'll force Bisu to run through a bunch of lurkers in order to get over to defend that base. And yeah, GG is called. Bisu taps out Ivory, the dark horse of ASL 16, taking down Bisu in this first game, but it was very hard fought. Bisu managing to break out, but that attack over towards the 4th base, Ivory was ready for it, and he completely surrounded the army. That was, I think, the moment that broke Bisu and put him so far on the back foot that even the greatest storms and maelstrom combinations we've seen were not good enough to keep him alive. Ivory never taking his foot off of the gas, constantly going with this layer-based play and a kind of a low drone count overall. Smashes through Bisu in game number 1, but we've got so many games to cover, guys. This is just the beginning. Stick around. We're going to be seeing more Bisu versus Zerg coming up soon. A nice scrappy first game, and our next contender is going to be HM, spawning here in the top right-hand corner. Bisu over in the bottom left. Pantheon is the map. We're going to get some new maps in the pool very soon. I've been hearing about some controversy going on with regards to that new map pool, but we'll cover that. We'll cover what's going on when the maps come out, when it's officially announced, because I've jumped the gun on that before and been like, well, these are the new maps, and then some of them, you know, don't end up coming out. Is what it is. We're learning, we're growing, we're improving over time, and I appreciate you guys, your patience and your understanding and the continued support, guys. Really do appreciate all of that stuff. And so we're gonna be watching HM, who is an ACS level player. He most recently participated in the SCS, which is the new rebranded version of the Africa Challenger series, called now the Soup Challenger series. So he is a strong Zerg player who we might expect to do well in upcoming seasons of the SSL. He might be one of the contenders. He might be able to make it in there. Whenever I see somebody who's doing, you know, top 4 ACS, or, you know, getting first place in that tournament, I'm like, okay, this guy's going to be a new contender potentially in the next year or so. It's happened time and time and time again. Once the people can once they get into the ASL or the SSL, they can no longer play in the AS or the ACS or the SCS. It's reserved only for players who haven't made it into the ASL yet or the SSL yet. It's getting a little confusing, I know. We're just gonna start referring it to as the SSL. Okay, guys, let's just decide on that. Let's make that a thing that we do from now on. Is we don't discuss the ASL anymore. We just talk about the SSL. Otherwise, it's too much. It's too confusing. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Everyone knows about the name change, at least I think. Leaving one ling back at home, or actually 2 lings back at home. Where's this other ling? Oh, there it is. Leaving some lings back at home to try and catch this probe. At least deny it from getting into the main, because he doesn't want to reveal the fact that he's gone for a layer. Wants to keep the threat alive that perhaps he, you know, threw down a Hydralisk Den. There will be the 3rd base spotted, though. That's important information for Bisu, who needs to know if there's only 2 bases on the map. That's a totally different game. That could be like a very fast Mutalisk rush, something like that. But he sees that is not the case. The 3rd base is there. He wants to get back in and see if the natural has more drones, see what the drone count is. If there's lings popping out, he's not going to be allowed to do so. Oh god, no, 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 no. Okay. He messed up. He messed up. Okay. That's not good. See, the zealots were moving out. That's why he messed up. He's going to try and catch these zealots, but really didn't want to let that probe in. Really didn't want to let that probe in. Letting that probe in sucks. And the probe is just lubed right up, and as soon as you manage to get ahead of the lings, it's almost impossible to get a block on that unless you've got a huge amount of space to do so, and he just didn't have the area to make that happen. Now over here at the third, as he clears up that one zealot, I think he's going to be regretting chasing that all the way over to this corner, and in fact, he has a ling speed finishing up, so maybe he can make it over here with a few more lings popping out and actually stop this in time. Okay, he is going to be able to do that. Very good that he had that ling speed coming up when he did. He's going to surround these zealots behind the mineral patches and kill them off. Just want to remove these from the equation as he gets over into his Spire Tech. That Spire Tech going to be coming online here shortly. And so he doesn't want to have this distraction. Losing a lot of lings to these. My goodness. Tons of lings going down behind these mineral patches, but he finally gets that ending surround and clears out everything. Still has a few lings remaining, just in case there's a few more zealots, and in fact there are about 3 zealots moving out right now. And I think with this number of lings, he should just be able to clear this up. Bisu, of course, gonna try and micro to the best of his ability to make sure that those stay alive as long as possible. This is some great micro, but in the end, that was just a few too many lings. He traded the best that he could, though. Truly, the best that he could. In the end, oh my gosh, he just lost that Overlord. Oh, he's going to start some buildings so he can pump out a couple of Scourge. There we go. He gets an Overlord popped, and so he will be able to start some Scourge. This Corsair cannot kill any more Overlords before he gets some Scourge on the map, but that was a little bit annoying, right? You lose your Overlord there at the front, and then you can't even build Scourge when the Spire's done. That can become catastrophic, but there are ways around it. You know, throwing away some drones by just building them into buildings and then canceling just to get like 2 pairs of Scourge out is worth it. He doesn't have to do that. In this case, some Overlords were on the way, but still a little bit of a hiccup there. Lings, where are they? Lings, okay, he's only got 2 lings left, right? He lost so many earlier. That's just due to the, that's Bisu micro for you, right? Bisu, he made the trades so terrible for the Zerg earlier that now he has to make even more lings. He has to make more lings to deal with these zealots. It looks like he will eventually clear this up. Taking down just 1 more ling there. Super annoying. But he will stabilize. He's got sunken colonies coming up. He's going into 6 hatcheries. Making 5 mutas. I think he'll stop at 5. Hydra Den is on the way. Evolution Chamber should be close behind. Probably put it right there. It's a good spot for the Evolution Chamber just to make it hard for the Protoss Zealots to get into this mineral line. Where else would you put it? Maybe there? Yeah, that's also a good spot. That's also a very good spot because the drones can kind of block on this side, and then the Evo chamber blocks on that side, and there's maybe 1 zealot can get on there. If you build an egg there, then the zealot can't get through this gap. So it's a pretty strong position, I would say. 5 Corsairs are coming out now. He needs a bunch of Scourge, so he's going to make 9 pairs of Scourge. My gosh, he's really taking this seriously. Hopefully those Scourge are not going to pop out right in the midst of the Corsairs. And as the Zealots come forward, there's only 4 Zealots because he's thrown away so many early game. He really did that strategically, however, it is going to hurt this next push. And so 5 mutas is going to hold off absolutely everything. And the Scourge are going to keep the Corsairs back for now. +1 should be done on these. No, not yet. It's almost there. It's so close. +1 attack is done on the Zealots, of course. Oh god, what was he attacking there? Did he attack his own units? Oh wow. It looked like he was attacking his own Corsairs for a second. That was strange, and he ends up losing a couple of Corsairs because of that error. Some DTs coming out. but he doesn't have the mass of Corsairs to make this a real threat. Hydras are going to start to come out now. And so the time of the Muta is almost over, but he will have an opportunity to stop this base at least. Snipe that down. That's some good stuff. And he got air armor as well, by the way. Air armor is done, so these Scourge still can get in there and deal some damage. Here comes those 2 DTs. They see the setup here with the Overlords and just turn around immediately. Overlord speed is on the way, importantly. More Corsairs being made. Archon gonna start to push out. Archon is scary. The Hydras don't have speed or range yet, and so he doesn't really want to take a fight outside of his Sim City, but this is what the Mutas are for. They're going to be available to fly around and try and see if any Templar are coming. If Templar make their way across the map and you're sitting in your Sim City and they just drop a storm on that, you've got no Hydra speed, you're kind of dead. That's just it. You're going to lose everything. So the Mutas are serving their purpose. The Corsairs, oh my gosh, he's going to catch some more of these. Man, HM is getting way better trades than most Zerg players would against the Corsairs of Bisu. Excellent job wrapping around there and catching those. And now Bisu's on the full retreat. Bisu getting pushed back hard. Not a good situation. He actually needs a third base and maybe even a fourth base. The Mutas are actually going to fight. Gets 1 Corsair. There's only 3 left. And we'll start that third base now. But, oh gosh, he loses the probe. Ooh, he loses the probe. That's huge. He should have started the Nexus immediately. But he started a pylon instead. And now he's going to have to bring out another probe. Well, he's being so slow about doing it as well. Send out this probe. Go get that third base. We need to start that. Long time ago, Hydras are coming out now. They've got the range, the speed. He didn't start +1 though. Oh no, he started +1. He got +1. Hasn't started +2 yet. I was just looking at the tab there at the production line, and I didn't see that upgrade coming. You need to start this next upgrade. +2. Gonna be slow. Diving on top of the Templar. He gets a Templar there. Does eat a big storm. And I think he might have killed that Corsair. That last Corsair went down to some of these Scourge. And so there's no Corsairs remaining. He could make another round of Mutas and keep after this. No more Corsairs are on the way. Yeah, all the Corsairs are gone. This is a big opportunity for HM. And he does recognize it. Starts another base. Mineral only base, but still going to be useful for building Hydras. Just you really need that 4th gas if you want to go into Hive later on. A Hive play. That gas is going to be essential. Finally starts +2. Okay. He doesn't forget about that for too long. Might be too long, but we'll see. He finally does get that underway. These Mutas are going to be more impactful, though, in the long run. 9 more drones on the way. That's going to fully saturate this 4th base. You can see HM, different from Ivory, he is going to take this opportunity to get those drones out. He knows that he needs to have sufficient economy to pump off of all of these hatcheries. So he's going to make sure that he has that online. I don't see a Dark Archon yet for Bisu, although he does have DTs, right? He's got the DT there. He should have another DT on the way. And just get that Dark Archon. Why would we not want to get that? He got it last game and it worked so well. This game, foregoing it doesn't really make sense. Sending the DT out. You can see HM here. Just 5 Hydras and an Overlord ready to stop anything from getting in there. Any DT from attacking that base. Mutas are going to come in and ravage the main base. This is why you need the Dark Archon, Bisu. This is why. Can't be slacking on that anti-air, and maybe he'll make one now. You're actually making Amulet, so you can't make Maelstrom just yet. DT still around this side. Bunch of lurkers for HM. He's getting prepared. Does have triple upgrade on the way now and hive. Where's the 4th gas though? HM, we need a 4th gas. This is so much gas. You're actually not going to be able to make lurkers if you're building hydras constantly. If he puts down like 2 more hatches. Okay, he did put down 2 more hatches. I was going to say, if he puts down 2 more hatches and just builds lings off of them, then he can be okay. He can make lurkers and lings and be fine. But I would much rather see him have a 4th gas. That way you can really pump out a lot of hydras and lurkers as in addition to the lings. And then you can also get into Defiler. Because it's just so many upgrades. Look, he's getting triple upgrade. Triple upgrade plus hive plus Defiler. Plus, you know, adrenal gland and just all the other upgrades for the Defiler. There's just so much gas that's not going to be going into lurkers. There's a good chance that you just don't have enough lurkers and Bisu can bust you. Surprised that he's not countering this army by just sending the mutas up here. If he comes up and snipes these Templar, and there's really no way Bisu can stop him from sniping those, he should be able to take a perfect fight against this Protoss force. And in fact, he should be able to force Bisu to just not engage at all. Gunning down that Archon immediately. That is a death trap. An absolute death trap that Bisu is trying to walk into in this corner. Great storm there. Actually killing a lot. Just wanted to check on these zealots making their way over to that base, but it seems like HM has it completely handled. A lot of money in the bank for both players. Both players having an issue spending all of their money. Well, I can see why Bisu's having that trouble, because he's actually busy dealing with mutas over here that are trying to kill his forge, which is quite annoying. Lurkers are going to run over and deny this 4th base. Ling's coming out. Just taking these trades. Adrenal is not done, so throwing away Lings right now is not a great idea. You want to have at least +1 with Adrenal. Otherwise, they'll be doing hardly any damage. They're basically just fodder with no upgrades. So he manages to get in there and stop the 4th base. He's got lurkers and lings working together. Finally clears out that one muta. My god, that muta almost killed the forge, but it wasn't quite successful. I would make... I know this sounds crazy, but making another set of mutas at this point in the game would not be too bad of an idea. He actually needs a 4th gas, though, so badly. We've delayed this for a long time, getting the 4th gas. He hasn't even tried to send a drone, as far as I could tell. He's going to try and take another mineral base, but we need that 4th gas so badly, HM. What are we doing? 4th gas is incredibly essential. He's making a Defiler. He's getting Defiler upgrades. He's got almost no gas in the bank. He's got a lot of lurkers still. I'll give him that. Still a lot of lurkers. And he has a huge amount of lings. Hasn't started his +2 attack on these lings, though. Gotta get that online as soon as possible. +3 hasn't been started. So when this +2 finishes, these lings are going to trade pretty darn well. Wow, look at HM. All of this army coming from every different direction. Oh my god, what is this? Holy crap, look at the surround here. I have to zoom all the way out. This is an insane surround. So many lurkers in the midst of all these forces. The lings are clearing out a lot. They're surrounding from the back. Again, gonna get a surround on this Protoss army. He's gonna kill probably just about everything. I mean, everything is being shoved back. He's getting right in on top of all of this and killing off all the zealots in the end. The Templar are gonna have to retreat. Can he actually get this Templar kill? Oh, get the Templar. Get the Templar. Not quite gonna get that one. He almost gets the... Oh, he does get the Templar on the right-hand side. 3 more Templar managed to escape. Gotta target down more of this. He's actually macroing behind it. He's got 2,000 minerals in the bank. We're gonna have so many lings popping out here soon. Just flowing forward. My god, what an insane attack there from HM. That was wild to witness. He finally does get a Defiler up to the front. Dark Swarm's going to go down. That makes the Archon pretty much useless against the Lurker. But with the... okay, with the Storms coming in, he will be able to stop that. Hydra's coming up. They're going to be part of this fight. Lings are going to be supporting. GG is called. He taps out. Bisu just going to let this game go. Incredible macro from HM. That was wild. Incredible unit control as well. You guys don't understand how hard it is to move that much army all at the same time and have it all coordinate and attack the army at the same time and not get stormed absolutely to death. Like, not all bottleneck on one, you know, tight choke or something like that. He managed to hit this army in kind of a perfect spot where he could come from all different directions and hit it at the same time. And he kept the army moving as well, kept bringing things around to flank as Bisu was trying to pull south. He kept bringing lings and lurkers around the sides and just trapping and killing that army off. Incredible play from HM off of these 4 bases. I thought he was going to get into a bad position without that 5th gas, but he managed to make those lings super efficient by having that big surround coming in from all sides. It just crazy. It's definitely SSL level play that we just saw out of HM, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in that tournament, in that future tournament. SSL Season 2. HM, let's go. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit off script in this video because I was so interested in HM's performance back there. I wanted to see how he would go and go up against somebody else aside from Bisu. We're gonna have him versus Best. I found this game from earlier in January 2025, and I'm just gonna take a look at this match and see what HM's really made out of. I was super impressed by that last game, guys. You could tell from that last cast that what HM was able to do with his army was pretty special. That was a little bit unexpected. So let's see what HM can do against Best here. Let's see what Best can pull out to try and pressure HM early, because HM really did not falter in that last game. He handled everything pretty well, perfect, and got himself into a reasonable position. It wasn't like he was ahead after all those holds, but he was certainly doing well. And I'm shocked that Bisu didn't try to go for a Dark Archon again. You saw how strong that was against Ivory. It wasn't good enough to win him the game, but you know, he killed so many units, even though there wasn't a huge commitment to metas from Ivory, and there was a huge commitment to metas from HM, but he didn't go for that Dark Archon, which, yes, does surprise me. We're gonna get this scout going now. Sees the location and is gonna see the overpool build out of HM. 4 lings initially gonna come out here. Nice tracking on this first drone, but HM's gonna break that, fall back to the lings so that he can move out safely now. Might be thinking about taking this base down here. Could also take this one as well. It's dealer's choice there. Doesn't really matter which one he goes for. Well, it will matter, of course, but either one is fine. Will make a difference in this game, but 3 lings going across the map, that could be a big problem. HM, he's gonna have no lings in his main when this zealot arrives. He's got 2 sets on the way, but there's gonna be a little bit of time here where this zealot could deal some real damage. The drones are gonna come off the line. They have to be pulled back instantly when the zealot starts to attack them. The probe is going to be attacking in there as well. 2 hits from the probe, 2 hits from the zealot will kill a drone. So gonna get one. Great pull there. Amazing pull. The moment that thing got attacked, can he actually pull it away again? Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Really good control so far. Another great pull there from HM. Dude, he is handling this like a true professional. Oh, he loses 1 drone there. The 1 drone does end up going down. The probe attack is so much longer range than the zealot. Oh, doesn't have the second hit from the probe on that next drone though, and so he won't get the kill. And he will be pushed back. Can he actually get something? Can he get a drone? Oh my god, 3 HP on that. Best. Just about sniping a second drone there. That would have been catastrophic, but he's not able to get it. Link speed is on the way. He actually cancels it. Gonna start the layer instead. Time to drone. We're gonna try to get into a regular game off of this kind of wacky early game. We'll see if he can drone safely out of this position. He's actually supply blocked. This is something that happens to me all the time, guys. When there's that much chaos and you're pulling drones left and right, you're trying to dodge these zealots attacks and like you're getting lings to the right spots and trying to surround the probe and blah, blah, blah. You're just doing so much at the same time. Often missing that 19 overlord, that supply block at 19 is extremely painful because now the drones are just popping out. He hasn't mined at all with them and a zealot attack is coming. So now he has to switch back into zealots and he just used all of his larva or back to zerglings. So he just used all of his larva on drones and he doesn't have the money from those drones mining any amount of time to actually get the lings going. So he's got only 2 sets of lings on the way. He needs like another 4 sets to deal with 5 zealots. They don't have +1, but he's gonna wait for a little bit longer. Okay, he's gonna try and catch them on the ramp. Not gonna happen. He wants to get the drones involved so he can win this fight handily. Getting the drones on top of the zealots is actually pretty darn good. He's forcing these to bug a lot. There we go. He does get on there. Needs to deal with this zealot without losing anything. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, almost gets that. Looks like he canceled some lings, or maybe, yeah, he's gonna cancel some of these lings. Built a few too many. Panic response there from HM. He's gonna cancel them. Try to get more drones online. And I mean, that was about as good of a hold as you can hope for, considering the situation was so dire. Oh, another zealot just headed over to the top right, and now it's going to be sent into the natural, and that lings are across the map. Dude, this is the type of thing that makes me so frustrated playing against Protoss. Oh, zealot there. Well, maybe you lose a drone. You have to pull everything. It's one zealot, man. It's one zealot, but it can just throw a complete wrench into your game plan. And it's going to trade super well from behind these mineral patches, and it's going to force a lot of attention. We might end up getting supply blocked again. You can see he's very close to that supply block. Actually needs overlords, multiple overlords, to be popping out here soon. But he has none in production, and more zealots are coming. More zealots are coming to harass him, and he's about to lose another overlord. And so this, you can see how this spirals out of control so quickly. Bess is just putting that pressure on and forcing him back. Look at this. He's going to lose that. He can't build anything. He can't build anything. It's so rough. Doesn't have a sunken over here or anything. He's going to have to pull drones. He does snipe down one of the zealots, which is pretty good. And he pulls away without losing anything, but he's losing so much mining time. No drones die, but this is damage nonetheless. Huge damage, in fact. He's going to go between. Okay, this is so good by HM. He's getting right on top of this. He loses one drone, though. 2 drones go down. I think a 3rd one will fall, too. Okay, it actually does survive. One drone there in the midst. Ah, another drone dies. It's so painful. There we go. He picks it off. And he will get to droning once again. 5 Meta is going to be coming out here soon. There are a lot of Corsairs, though. A lot of Corsairs. He's in the midst of droning. Gotta chase down these zealots. Stop the bleeding. We have to stop the bleeding and get the drones to mine so that we can have a decent mid-game, or we're just going to fall apart. We're going to get completely crushed by the follow-up attacks of Bisu. He's probably just going to gear up for one massive 2-base timing, I would say. After all the damage that he's done, the 2-base timing will put on so much pressure to HM that he's not going to be able to do, like, even if he holds it, I think Bisu or Bess is still going to be in a decent spot, right? If you think about it that way. He's not really worried about, oh, you're just going to hold this, and then you're going to have a fourth, and you're going to have all these upgrades, and you're going to start, you know, pumping out huge units, and I'm not going to have my third, and I can't contest you. No, Bisu knows that you are, like, so strapped as a Zerg player that he is going to be able to put on so much pressure to you with this 2-base timing that even if it doesn't work, you're going to have to sack so much stuff, you're going to have to throw away so much stuff, and you're going to have to, you know, not drone as hard as you'd like to, or you're just going to take huge damage, that he's going to be able to roll through and take a... Oh, maybe he just wins right here, actually. My gosh. That Archon coming in clutch. Pushing away these Scourge, and of course the Mutas can't really engage either. Trying to take this fight. Oh, the Mutas have to fight this. They have to kill this. They have to kill this. Okay, he does get it. But the hatchery goes down, and now it's like devastation. Absolute devastation for our Zerg player. Losing the third hatchery. There's really no way to recover from a position like this. I think that Best has just done it. We might see the tap out here soon. Maybe he still wants to play it out. Transfer the drones. Make a go of it. He has Mutas still. And more Mutas are popping out. He killed a bunch of the Corsairs. A lot of the Corsairs did go down. Some drones are getting targeted. This Sunken Colony going to be targeted down here quickly. And a Zealot will make its way into the main, which is annoying. That's going to possibly kill a couple of drones as well. And yeah, we'll get a couple. Tries to get on top of that. Get this around and kill. But again, more lost mining time. More lost mining time for HM. He's trying desperately to stabilize. And that's really all he's been doing for the last few minutes. Is trying to keep himself alive. Trying to get his feet back under him. Only 3 Corsairs remain. And he is switching into Dragoons now. Get this 2-base timing going. And again, the same rule applies. He's put on so much pressure and so much damage to the Zerg player. A follow-up attack, you have to use so many resources and as the Zerg to actually defend this follow-up attack, that again, he's just going to be in a good position. Even if you barely defend it, because you're not going to smash it. You're barely going to survive it. If you barely survive it, he's still going to be in a good spot. He's still going to have an opportunity to take more bases and just yada yada yada. He should just be able to smash it. Oh my god, this is a lot of Sunken Colonies on high ground. Oh man. 3 Sunken Colonies at the natural as well, and he starts to take over the main. HM might have found the one way to possibly come back in this game. This is incredible, actually. I didn't expect 5 Sunken Colonies on high ground to come up just to defend the Dragoon attack. But that seems to be the right choice. I mean, he's used a lot of his drones, and he doesn't have much other than that. You can see that Best immediately sent out a probe. He's like, okay, you're playing Sunken Defense now? Well, I'll start taking bases. I have to start taking bases, because if I don't break you, then I want to have like a nest egg here. I want to have something that I can work with in the future. However, HM, he's still got this mobile force of Mutas and Scourge to actually come up here and kill this. So potentially going to get this Nexus kill. That's a lot of Mutas. Nexus is getting low. Yeah, he will be able to stop that. And will he cancel, or is he just going to let it die? I think he just let it die. Oh boy. Scourge screening the Dragoons off. And he manages to cancel the third. Wow. Is HM actually going to come back here? That would be, I think, even more impressive than the Bisu game if he managed to come back from this deficit. Double Hydra Den because he lost. Oh, no, he didn't lose his Hydra Den. He's got triple Hydra Den. What? Triple Hydra Den? Hold up. Hold up a second. That's not right. Triple Hydra Den is way too excessive. He does pick off all of the Corsairs in the main and can continue to snipe down probes now. This is an incredible comeback story if HM manages to win this. Got those upgrades coming. He's actually getting double upgrades, although he has triple Hydra Den. Yeah, this is a testament to how crazy this game has been for HM. It's not been that crazy for Bisu. He's just been applying pressure basically the entire time and hasn't really had to do too much defending aside from these Mutas, which are actually getting crazy damage now. 37 workers? He's killed an insane amount. Look at all the probes that are dying. Look at all the probes. He's killing probes and probes and probes. He's getting so many kills. 36 left. He's gonna get even more here. As the probes, they can't mine from this base just yet. They're transferring in between. Bunch of Templars out there at the front. They do have Storm, however. I don't think he'll be able to snipe those down, but he's got more mutas on the way. More mutas are coming up. He has Lurker upgrade finished as well. Lurkers can be made now. Another base could come out from HM here shortly. Could try to take another base in a moment. Try to get some Lurkers over there to defend. He sees the Templar. Oh my goodness. He's gonna snipe down a bunch of these Templar, man. There's nothing really to defend aside from Storm. Storm there. Warding away the mutas, but that's one less Storm for the upcoming fight. Still a lot of sunken colonies on these high grounds, and Hydras are sitting back in the Sim City. That's not the greatest. Yeah, if he actually engages this, he's got to get in here. What is he doing with the mutas? Go, 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 go. We need to snipe these. We need to snipe these Templar. I don't care if every muta dies. You need to kill those Templar before they get storms on all of these Hydras and just dominate this base. He's actually going to fly across the map. What? Flying out over to the other side of the map. Wait, what? The migration of the Overlords is crazy. Look at this. Overlord's heading out. He snipes that Templar before it can make... Holy crap, what are these Overlords doing, HM? You're gonna lose like 7 Overlords here for nothing? They still not need to leave the base, man. Those do not need to leave the base. Where are they going? Just completely forgetting about them. He's gonna have to make like 10 Overlords just to stabilize, just to get some more units out. Oh my goodness, this is a classic game of Broodwar, guys. An absolute classic. HM making some massive mistakes. Bisu making some massive mistakes as well, but 11 mutas are here in the main, killing off probes. He's still got a probe advantage with 45, and he's got the 3rd base down, so we're even on bases. HM in desperation mode, making so many Overlords, it boggles the mind. It makes your head spin. How many mutas are, or how many Overlords are actually having to be made at this point. If he comes in, just snipe these Templar. Oh my gosh, bring the mutas back. He's killing some more probes, but I don't know. Just killing the Templar and then bring out the Hydras to actually fight this. Then he might be able to get another base online. It's crazy that he's not even attempting that. Gonna fly through again. Can snipe this. Yeah, definitely can snipe this cannon, and then he can hit from the top side and just keep killing probes. Another Overlord goes down. How many Overlords have we lost this game for nothing, for no reason? Finally, he's gonna make a Dark Archon. Okay, Best has had enough. He's down to 32 probes, and he's finally like, you know what? Dark Archon sounds good. He's finally gonna make one. He's lost every probe at the 3rd. Oh my goodness, every probe at the 3rd is gone. There's a ton of mutas coming out now. Just come out and snipe these Templar, HM. For the love of God, what are you doing? These Hydralisks are not going to stand a chance if you don't snipe those down first. These are like 3 storms apiece on these Templars. And so he needs to get over here. He's sending the mutas out. He's not going to do that. Oh my goodness. HM, what is happening right now? Okay, finally. Oh god, the Lurkers at the front. Triple Lurker storm there. Hydra's coming out. What am I looking at right now? What am I seeing? HM losing the script. We do have Maelstrom finishing up now, so finally having some anti-air, like consistent anti-air that can defend. Oh my goodness, that's 6 Templar at the front, by the way. 6 Templar, which could be easily shot down by these mutas, but he doesn't check the rally point. He's just going for this 3rd again. He's actually maybe going to kill this base. He's definitely going to kill a bunch of probes, for sure. A lot of probes going to go down. Oh, he's not paying attention right now. He's paying attention to this. Will this Dark Archon finally get in there and stop the harassment? If he kills this... Guys, just think about it this way. If he kills these mutas... What the heck is HM gonna do in this game? The mutas if the mutas are gone, he's gonna have to fight straight up against a massive number of Templar with nothing but pure hydras and a couple of lurkers, and that's going to come to pass now. There's the storm. He finishes it off. An extra storm for good measure. You can tell that Best was not happy about those mutas constantly harassing him, so he cast double storm to take them down. Good storm there. Go ahead and push those back. What the heck is this? What are these overlords doing? What am I watching? Overlord speed is still not done. Hydras come out and try to break them naturally. He will get out with some of these hydras, but he doesn't have a lot of lurkers, and he doesn't have the Templar to, or he doesn't have the mutas, excuse me, to snipe these Templar. And so I'm worried for HM right now. He's gonna try and push, I think, to take this base, running away from these few Templar. He needs to actually snipe some of these. What are we doing? I guess we're controlling over here. More overlords coming out. Dude, is he gonna lose like another 10 overlords? These overlords are just dead. What is this? What am I looking at? He lost like 5 overlords over here. He's gonna lose some more. He's trying to come out and fight. The trades are brutal. About as bad as they possibly could be. Archons are gonna be morphed. More reinforcements are gonna come up here. So even though it looks like HM might surround and kill this army, another wave of support comes forward. More overlords are going to die. I think that Best has done it. It was dicey. It was very dicey. I thought that HM was going to get in there, snipe the Templar, and then break out, but he just wanted to only attack. He only wanted to attack this third base over and over and over again, and he was not willing to even check the natural to kill masses of Templar. Like, imagine if instead of killing a few probes here, he had come to this area with the Templar, kill 6 Templar in the rally point, and then fly back here, you know, kill 2-3 Templar that are on these high grounds, and then mass out the Hydras and go and take a 4th base. There's a good chance that HM wins that game, but he really, really didn't want to do that. He was not interested. He wanted to sit here with his sunken colonies and just surround, or just harass with mutas, and eventually, finally, Best pulls out the Dark Archon. This guy right here changed the entire game into Best's favor by getting that one Maelstrom that finally shut down the harassment attempts of HM. And GG. HM, clearly, I mean, he's got some control, he's got some interesting ideas, but Best is going to shut you down if he gets those Dark Archons out and handles the mutas. I mean, if he's willing to get the right tool for the job, I think that Best can handle HM in these games. Anyways, we're gonna go back to Bisu now. We've got another game to get into, so let's jump into it now. Our final game of the night, Bisu once again. We're gonna be watching this guy, this legend, especially in the PvZ matchup. The guy who revolutionized and modernized the PvZ matchup, going up against an unknown Zerg player. This is not Soma. He has a very similar ID to Soma here. This is one of Soma's, very similar to one of Soma's common IDs that he uses on the ladder, but it's not him. This is an unknown Zerg player. I just really enjoy Bisu games. Watching him play against a common ladder opponent in a very good game is going to be enjoyable either way. Guys, thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video if you're still here. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having an awesome, wonderful day. After this, I'm gonna head over to my grandma's house, my Japanese grandma's house. I guess my grandma-in-law, my mother-in-law, is living with her now. We're gonna go check up on mother-in-law, see how she's doing, have some lunch. I think it's probably gonna be unagi, what we're gonna have, either for lunch or for dinner. And it's gonna be nice. Definitely like myself some unagi. If you don't know what unagi is, it's actually eel, and it's very famous in Japan. It's actually quite expensive in compared to other foods in Japan. Unagi is one of the more expensive meals, but it's my wife's favorite food, and every time we go to families to family gatherings, and they ask, "Oh, what do you want to eat?" My wife always says unagi, because we really don't eat it very much, because of course it is a little bit expensive. It's compared to like Canadian or American prices. If you want to go to a restaurant, it's like it's crazy. You might like spend the same amount of money going to McDonald's as you would getting a nice unagi meal here in Japan. It's kind of wild the way that prices have gone in the past couple of years. So keep that in mind. It's not a crazy expensive meal, but it's a delicious meal, and these zealots are going to be a delicious meal for these lings. A lot of lings are being made right now, by the way. Quite a few lings are going to be pressuring Bisu's front wall and bringing them all together now. He should be able to get the gateway. With this number of lings being produced, he's going to start 2 lings on the gateway and keep the rest of the lings ready to fight these zealots. Every time the zealots come forward, just taking a good, efficient trade against them is going to be the key. He's putting a lot of damage on this. The cannon is still far from completion. It takes time. Even after it hits 100%, it takes a while before it starts firing. So he just needs to kill this gateway. He's going to focus it down now. There it is. Gets the gateway. And that was his entire goal for this. Cybernetics Core, though, did start for Bisu. So that's important. Keeping that tech rolling. If he loses the gateway before the Cyber Cores gets down, then it puts your tech back almost to the Stone Age. Like, you're gonna be sitting there making, you know, gateway, then a Cybernetics Core, and then finally you can make a Corsair, and it's just too late at that point. So luckily he did get the Corsair, or importantly, not luckily, he did get that Cybernetics Core down. Now this Zealot counterattack is all the Zealots that Bisu has. This is everything. He doesn't have any more Zealots, and we know that for a fact. The Zerg knows it for a fact, because that gateway was killed. Now another Zealot will be on the way, but he's got to be a little careful. If there was a bunch of links being made during that Zealot attack, he could come running across the map and suddenly kill this cannon. That's why Bisu's pulling the probes. Getting the probes ready. And he's attacking his forge and gateway. If you don't know why these are attacking, it's because there's no hold position button when you click a probe. If you click a probe with some other units and you press hold position, like a Zealot, then they will hold position, but they don't have a button. So you attacking the buildings means that if the probe starts to get attacked by a ling, it won't just move out of the way, because usually probes, if they start to get attacked and they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there, they'll just automatically move away. So say a probe sitting there and a bunch of lings run up and try to hit that, it'll move out of the way, and then it opens the position for the lings to run in and surround the cannon. So very important little addition there. Adding, you know, attacking with the probe onto the gateway to help prevent any sort of ling run by. But during this time, the Zerg player has been able to drone significantly, going up to 36. 36 is good enough on 3 bases to where you can get up into 6 hatch Hydra and start to pump out, you know, a good number of them. You get into about 2 to 3 groups of Hydralis on the map. You can deal with most anything that the Protoss player can throw at you. Mostly it's just going to be Zealots. Big groups of Zealots that'll be thrown at you in the early game. Maybe, you know, 1 or 2 Templar mixed in can be a threat. But if you got, you know, 2, 3 groups of Hydras, then you can deal with all that. He's actually going to make mutas now, so that's another way to deal with this. I have 1 sunken at each base and a bunch of mutas with a few lings here and there to just shore up the defenses, to, you know, block these little chokes and stuff like that. And that'll be an adequate defense. And then he can go up into 45, which is where you want to be on 3 base, 6 hatch. Tries to get in there, tries to snipe a Corsair, only gets 1 hit. Sees the mutas with these Zealots. He has Zealot speed now, so he probably won't lose too many. He can just split them off. Try to you know, not lose too many zealots. Does end up losing one, but that was a good split. Good split indeed. And there's Sunken Colony coming down. Wants to be totally safe as he's going into this next round of drones. I don't think that is totally necessary. I don't think those second Sunken Colonies are totally necessary, but we'll see. HM. Or sorry, not HM. Excuse me. We'll see if he's right on that. If he actually needs those extra. I haven't replaced a new name in my head, so I defaulted to HM there. That's kind of funny. Not HM. A random Zerg player from the ladder. 6 hatch on the way. It's a little bit late, but I actually maybe throw that over at a 4th base would be okay. This is a little bit more of a scrappy game. Maybe that would be a decent play, but it seems like he wants to go for an Ogre Zerg into the main. Let's see if Bisu can hold this. That's a lot of Corsairs, but the Scourge are coming in. That's 3 cannons. Okay, 3 cannons should be okay. 3 cannons denies this Mutalisk attack for sure. Yeah, you can't break that with 3 cannons on the defense. That's not going to go well. Double Sunken Colony with the Hydralisk behind. We'll be able to hold on to this counterattack, but he doesn't have a 4th on the way, and he's just getting his Hydra upgrades now. A little bit slow on that. He's going to lose the Overlord most likely again. A lot of gateways going up in the main, going up to 8, as is customary. I mean, that 8 gateway count online is key to pumping out the right number of units. Utilize this 2-base economy. One Overlord making its way forward. Looks like that was the Overlord in the Mutalisk group, maybe? No, it wasn't. It's just going to be sent up here to get some scouting information, it seems. I don't know. Fly into the cannons and die, I guess. I guess that's the goal. Boom. It does. It served its purpose, guys. It did what it was made to do. And so, more Hydras, of course, piling out. He's getting a little bit behind on his macro, but he's got 45 workers, which is exactly where he wants to be. And he's making a lot of Scourge right now, which don't cost much minerals, so that's why there's a glut of minerals. Could just start throwing down bases. Time to drop like double hatchery over at this 3rd, and I haven't seen Lurker upgrade just yet, but that may be there. Oh boy, don't want to lose all the Scourge. Okay, gets 1 Corsair for like 10 Scourge. Maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 8 Scourge. Not the greatest trade. That's pure Hydra out on the map to contest the Zealot Templar, which is gonna be a strong counter to this mass Hydra. Once Lurkers are in play, this pure Zealot army doesn't really work anymore. Gotta target down some of these Templar. What are these Hydras doing on the right-hand side? He should be gutting down Templar left and right. Pretty good dodging overall by the Zerg. Not taking too much damage from the storms, but he doesn't have Lurkers. The Zealots are gonna do pretty well in these fights. Hydras are pushing forward now. Now it's pure Hydra versus Zealot Archon DT. And there's not quite enough Hydras to actually just bully this back. The damage is not coming out fast enough, and Lurkers are still not forthcoming. Just producing as many Hydras as possible. And getting into this rally point, another Templar makes its way forward. Oh god. It was going to be close without the Templar in there, but now that the Templar is here and is going to deal a bunch of damage with it, things are looking a bit dire on the Zerg side of things. Definitely this hatchery should be denied if he can get out there and find it. He's got some more mutas together, and there's only 2 Corsairs left, so maybe he can come forward, snipe the Templar, and go to the rally point, snipe those Templar as well. So spreading out Overlords is a good idea now that the Corsairs number has been limited so much. Mutas, 11 of them heading directly towards the rally point. This could be a big moment for our Zerg player. Is he going to be able to find these Templar? Here he comes. Templar. Immediately he snipes down the Observer, interestingly. 2 storms go out. A 3rd storm goes down, but all the Templar die, and the Corsairs die as well. Beautifully done. He can go back here now. Okay, he's not going to. He could go back here and actually deny the mining over at the 3rd because there's no cannon in the mineral line. He's going to loop around. Maybe go for more Templar because there's none. There's absolutely none. Hydras, not in high enough number, I think, to fight straight up against the Zealot Dragoons that are out. +2 is about to finish. +2 is about to finish here. Can he actually fight this? That's a lot of Hydras, but this is so many Zealots. The mutas are going to be helpful in dealing with the Zealots and tanking some of this damage. I guess he's going to actually push through. He will push through and actually kill this entire army. Awesome. Really awesome job here for the Zerg. Base over in the top left is coming down. Bisu gonna sneak one out. But he doesn't have any defenses over at this 3rd. He could break this. I'm surprised he's heading towards the natural right now. The high ground 3rd is very exposed. The natural is probably not the right choice. Coming in for the snipe. Oh, he accidentally shoots the gateway. And so he will not kill that Templar. Okay, he does get the Templar in the end, but it gets its storms off. And so a lot of Hydras will die. This is still very scary for Bisu. But less so now that the mutas are gone and this base wasn't attacked. He could have... I think it would have been much better had the Zerg attacked this base, and then he could have hovered around this area and waited for the Templar to come out rather than trying to dive over the cannons to kill them. Probes are going to come out. All of them are going to die. Oof. A lot of probes go down there. Snipe a Templar. There it is. Kills another Templar. Still can't get out of his base right now. 5 more mutas on the way. He's got a good supply of mutas coming forward. Still hasn't harassed the mineral patches over here. If this was HM, you can tell it's not him because he would have definitely gone for the harassment on that base. That seems to be his MO. That's the way that he likes to play. No hive. And so we got to get moving. This is not a comfortable position. Like, this is a playable position. This is not a comfortable position. We need to get on the move. Zerg having to take out one of these bases. I don't think he knows about the base over in this corner. Yeah, he hasn't even scouted up there yet. So he's got this super mobile army with no lurkers. He's adding on lings now. He still hasn't added on a single lurker. He's gonna get armor rolling finally, but he's got to start moving the army to get Protoss out of position. There's too many cannons up there now. He needs to attack this base, bring the Hydra army up to this base, attack into here, and then as the Templar are coming, that's the perfect time to snipe, because you can't keep everything together as the Protoss player while you're moving and, you know, trying to control different parts of your army. Coming in for the snipes here. Diving in on top of the army when it's just kind of parked in one spot is not the greatest, but you know what? He's going to get every Templar. He loses all the mutas. Well, nearly every muta. But he killed off the Templar. I think he just doesn't know about these extra bases. I really do feel that he's just not aware. Just not aware of the bases that are available to Bisu. He's like waiting for him to take a 3rd or a 4th and thinking like, okay, I'm in a good spot, but Bisu is just getting away with a huge amount of mining that he shouldn't be able to. Hydra number is getting kind of crazy high. Another round of mutas comes out. 153 is a supply to 155. This should be a Zerg favored game, but I'm not feeling too good about his chances. The fact that he's letting this Protoss get away with so much. He's letting Bisu get away with having an extra base and being on even bases for such a long time, and he's not going to hive. So it's like, this is one of those games where you have to keep it scrappy and low money. You know, don't let the Protoss player continue to expand so that you can keep sniping Templar and fighting with these small armies. Storms there actually forcing him to run through the storm, and he's gonna kill most of the mutas and only loses, you know, 3 Templar or something like that. And the Templar number is getting insane because he's got this extra gas. So he has, I mean, he has no idea. He has no idea. He's actually finally going to send something up there. It looks like he finally scouted it. He finally scouted like one Ling headed up to that area. So many Templar here. He's going to be forced to push out, and the Hydras are going to delay. This is like a delay force. Try to push back all of these forces. Just buy some time so he can kill this base. But honestly, Bisu's already gotten what he needed out of that base. He's going to take another base over a little bit closer to his natural. The normal 3rd base on this map. And meanwhile, he's just going to push back all of these Hydras. A 5th base is up. Still no hive. Still no hive on the way. 9 more mutas are being made. This guy is just, he's not willing to play it out in a late game, and he's going to be forced to because he never scouted that base. Or he did scout it eventually, but shouldn't say never. But he scouted it so late that we are no longer in mid game. This is not a layer game anymore. It's not possible, I don't think, to win on layer when there's Protoss players on 4 bases and they've got, you know, nearly a maxed out army. He's still ahead on supply at the moment, and he's gonna try to fly in and just snipe a bunch of Templar. There's no attempt to build a Dark Archon, so this play can still work. If he had a Dark Archon with this army, game's over, in my opinion. You're just going to be able to kill basically all of the mutas the first time that they try to come in and deal any damage. Another missed storm there. Some storms here in the middle of these Hydras, though, are going to do amazing. Still enough storms, I think, to fight all of these Hydras, but he just used the last remainder of those. He used the last of the storms. Is there enough Hydras to push through? I guess not. Not enough Hydras. He's going to take more bases. He's still not going to go to Hive. So he will be falling massively far behind in upgrades soon, because we're going to have 3-3 in not too long. I'm surprised there's not a second forge, but he's basically gotten 4 upgrades off of this one forge. He's about to finish a 5th, which is kind of wild. And eventually he will get to 3-3. Eventually we're going to see that 3-3 come out. Another round of muta. Oh gosh, finally he's going to go into Lurker. That is wild. Finally going to go into Lurkers. And we'll see where he ends up sending those. I think he'll put them here. He'll put a ton of Lurkers there, maybe a few there, and just try to contain. I think that might be the play that he's planning to go for. He's got all the Lurkers on the back foot right now, and Bisu's got a pretty good position with his army. It's going to be hard to run in and fight that. And as Bisu moves around the side, it's going to get even more complicated. The Lurkers are going to come forward now. Maybe he can get behind and force the army of Bisu to run into his Lurkers. This is not the greatest. Lurkers here stacked up pretty heavily. And the storms are going to get some huge value on these Hydras because he's controlling so much. You can see the difference between him and HM in his control of these massive armies. Are just not quite there. Drops very far in supply. He lost so much supply there. He has another base online. He's got 73 workers, still no hive. This guy is as hard-headed as they come. Like, he is even more hard-headed than a player like Zealot in just never wanting to tech up and just staying on these low tech units. Lurkers and Hydras forever, man. This guy never gives up. Never give up, never surrender. Just always build the Lurker Hydra. He's gonna run forward. Try to take another fight here. Still, on 4 gases, the Templar number is kind of severe. It's a little bit crazy how many Templar you can pop out. He's gonna be casting a storm for every group of Hydras that gets sent out by this Zerg, and he drops him once again in supply to kind of a dangerous level. Still has 5 mutas. Still could try to come out and snipe some Templar, but These, I mean, let's take a look at some of these Archons must have a bunch of kills, right? No. 11 kills on this one Templar. It seems like all the Templar that were used to morph these Archons didn't get any kills on them. Another round of Templar coming up to the front. Just, there's so many Templar. There's so many Templar. Fighting this with pure Hydra Lurker is it's just so tough. And the Archon number is building and building. He's gonna have to split like a god to win this fight. And I don't think he has it in him. Some pretty good pulls away from some of these storms, but that storm ends up doing a huge amount of damage on the bottom side. Another good storm down here. And you can see the Hydra number just thinning out more and more as Bisu pushes forward. The army is trading well. That is a big factor. The army does trade very well by itself without the storms. So the storms added on to what is already a strong army. And he is going to get up onto this high ground and take out this base. I think we're on death's door. There it is. GG is called. Bisu wins this game. A lot of hard-headed play in this series, guys. I'll admit, a lot of these guys really don't like to react to their opponent, it seems. And I think the main thing was just not scouting this base for the Zerg. Like, he was doing well, but not scouting this base really kind of ended things for him. It really ruined his day. And Bisu just not building a Dark Archon is wild. It is wild. I can't believe he didn't build that in 2 of these games. You saw how good it was for best when HM was relying so heavily on mutas, and this guy relied very heavily on mutas as well. Eventually switched out of it, but I mean, a few of these fights, like when he had that huge amount of Hydras there, and if he had flown in with, like, he didn't need to add many more mutas. He's already got, what, 5 mutas here? If he adds on another 3 mutas, it's only 300 gas. He flies in, bang, kills a bunch of the Templar, and then takes that fight. It's gonna look a lot different. So not having the Dark Archon, I think it's a huge mistake. Bisu, I don't know, man, needs to react a little bit more to the muta play and just be a little bit more open to the idea of getting the Dark Archon. It's such an underused and underappreciated unit, but it is incredibly, incredibly good in situations like these when your opponent is not willing to go to Hive, when they're just staying on this layer play. They only have 2 options, Lurkers and Hydras, or mutas. Those are the only things that they're going to be popping out. So having an answer or response to both of those in the Psystorm and the Maelstrom, it seems to make a lot of logical sense. Anyway, guys, that's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed this series, and I'll see you in the next one.